The Getaway by Ross Armstrong, published by HarperCollins. Take yourself off to a private island in the Aegean Sea called Korpios, and that is the home of the Rathwell family when they're not holidaying in some other exotic location. So be prepared for all sorts of hijinks that happen amongst the rich, the famous, the infamous. So we are joining the Rathwells on their private island. It's called Korpios, and I can only imagine that is inspired by Scorpius, which is the private island owned by the very rich Onassis family. Now, Robert Ratherwell, I'm sure, has been inspired by Robert Maxwell, the famed multimillionaire who got into very deep trouble and left a huge legacy of misdeeds behind him. There is also JR, who is Robert Rathwell and his wife Sophia's son. He's only sort of 9 or 10, so he's a very young boy, but of course JR immediately takes me back to the Ewings and Dallas and that TV programme. So I think you've got a combination of all kinds of things. You've got Succession in there, because I'm sure Robert Rathwell also is inspired by Logan Roy and his wife and the way she cared for him in his last, weeks, months, years. Sophia does that for Robert. So here they are on the island. There are various other players who've been brought onto the island to help ease them into the life of luxury on their island, and then a first murder occurs, and so we have Amelia and Ben who've been employed. Ben is employed to be a kind of surrogate father to JR because Robert is too old, he's slightly away with the fairies, he has his moments, he's physically quite unwell. So Ben is there to be the father figure to this young boy. There is also a lifestyle assistant. Who knew you needed one of those? But I could definitely have one of those in my life, who basically looks after Robert and makes sure his pills turn up on time, that he's in a good mood, that he gets everything he wants at the drop of a hat. So how childlike is that? His needs are met all the time by all these hangers on. Anyway, one murder, and then the carrying on towards the end of this book to find out the whys and the wherefores of what has been going on in this island, in this super rich enclave. And I think I wanted to find out who did what and why. More murders ensue, and there is a pattern building up, and we get a lot of backstories. There are a lot of secrets, and the thing that drove me on was to actually find out, why people have been murdered and who, 2 people, was behind what was going on. So if you want a locked island mystery, there's also a thunderstorm, and if you have a locked island mystery, you have to have a thunderstorm at the denouement. That is the fashion, I think, or the trope for this summer 2022 locked island scene and setting. So The Getaway by Ross Armstrong is a good immersive read that canters along at a good pace.